Do we want to take the knife?
That's a good question. Sure,
You
why
guys are
not?
in the driver's seat here.
I mean, if both of these options are available, then both of them theoretically, if inferring from the last loop, there's content both ways. So at this point, because we're guaranteed to get new content, I'm kind of just like whatever about it.
She doesn't have to know.
Which maybe is the downside of this graceful feature, but
Have we ended the second loop killing her or trying to kill her? I don't know that we have.
like the
The very first
Door
time
to the
I
basement
think we did
creaks
that.
open, revealing a
thing,
staircase.
you can make the case that like this encourages purposeless play.
Roots that hang.
But the thing about visual novels, that's actually kind of not an invalid way to design a visual novel as far as I can understand. Like building a visual novel where you're just clicking to see what happens next for 9% of it, and then you have choices, but there's the expectation that you're basically going to have to make every choice anyway, so whatever. Like that's kind of de rigueur for the genre.
Sure that's actually true. I think the way it works is whatever you do in the first loop determines who you're going to run into. That's when we get different chapter names for chapter 2. But then once you're in the loop with a specific princess, you're like fixed to that, and I don't think it's necessarily a thing where we'll have to go back and do multiple versions. Well, we can't, because if she gets grabbed by hands, then we can't even get back to this loop. So what we do on the second day and potentially the third day, or however many of these things can go on, is not something that we'll get the chance to go back and repeat. Like, it is choices that do stuff. I'm not sure it actually makes a difference, because we always kind of end up back with the hands lady, but, you know. But it seems like that first day is the only one where it's like, yeah, we're really exploring to see which thing does what to get us into a different loop.
The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here,
Is this
Slaying her would
Cronenberg, or
probably
is
be
this
doing
more
her
just
a
like
favor.
the roots of a
It's
tree?
roots.
Her voice
Yeah.
skitters up from below.
Something
It's hard to tell with the art
nasty
style,
finds
but
itself
yeah, I
on
think it's
my
supposed to be roots.
stairs.
Oh boy.
Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
Hmm.
I'm not nasty.
I mean, we are kind of
The
nasty.
idea, fuck
so-
you, I'm not nasty, leaves.
This I'm getting a feeling like I just walked into somebody's scenario, let's say.
Well, then we should definitely lean into it.
But you are.
AO3
You're a
Slay the
wretched
Princess
little
fiction.
thing. I recognize that voice as
I would
easily
like
as
to
I
confer with my
recognize
scene
the
partner.
Nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember
man, we're gonna get
what
Baba
you've
Yaga'd.
done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away.
How I
she's
feel
going to
about what's
break
going
free
on
and
is going
enter
to
the world.
be very much
There's no
informed by
reasoning
what she
with
looks
what
like
she
when we get to the
is.
bottom of the staircase.
I'm just
I
throwing
really
it
want
out
her to be wearing a
like to
giant
think out
witch's hat for no
I'm the
reason.
kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any
I'm
big
not
decisions?
thinking
Do
spider.
you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself
Oh, that'd be
talk?
And I
good.
can't decide if that's the horny one or not.
You need to stop.
Probably is the
lingering.
horny one.
Your task is to slay
Yes,
the
it's
princess,
one of the candidates.
not endlessly debate about.
Have
what
you
to
heard
do.
of Dark Elves?
Fine. You're the
Yeah.
boss.
I fucking ran Queen of the Demon Web Pits, which is the document 0 for the
Oh,
horniness.
okay.
Descend the basement stairs.
All right.
That is
there we go.
simultaneously not what any of us was putting forth.
You can just make out the shape
no.
of the princess in the gloom.
No.
She's
I mean, it's not what I
against the far
said, but,
wall,
like,
her eyes.
it can still go either
glaring
way,
from
but,
amid the
you know.
thick roots.
Sure, but she's not a spider. Nor is
Yeah.
she wearing a giant witch's hat, so I feel like we've been robbed.
And there you are.
Hmm.
One hand tucked away behind your back.
does
holding that
appear to
sharp,
have
sharp blade,
Cat
no doubt.
feet.
It might just be that if you talk with the syntax, like you talk as a
How would
golem
you know
would,
that?
but with just like a normal
So,
voice,
we've dropped
it
the
sounds like you're
pretenses.
trying to be a dom.
Good.
That's an interesting revelation that may have just came out here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Would you care to
Maybe someone's out there
elaborate
dumbing
on
like
that?
Gollum. I don't know. No, that's straightforwardly my conclusion based on the
She's
evidence
acting
here.
like the two of you already know each other. Oh no. You've already
No, like,
been
just
here,
let's
haven't
just
you?
like try talking
That's
in
pretty
like
sharp. How'd you figure that
a
one
slight
out?
affectation, but otherwise your normal voice,
deductive
and
reasoning.
just ask if the nasty hobbits can give you back your precious, and see if you don't sound kind of like you're trying to have this audio go viral.
Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the
Narrator is
princess clearly have
realizing
a shared
stuff
reality,
again.
even
All
if
right, well
I'm not
that's
a part of
intriguing.
it.
The fact the narrator
Won't waste
generally
time fighting you on
odds
something
out
that's
of this
clearly
kind of
true.
conclusion, so
I'm
it's
just
always
glad
interesting
we
when the
can
narrator
put all
dodges.
No,
this
he-
behind us.
He did like conclude, oh, you guys actually are telling the truth when we met the princess the other run for the second time.
No,
so-
yeah, no, it definitely happens. It's just like it's
Just focus
it's
on the
noteworthy
task
when
at
it
hand.
happens.
I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay.
And like the fact that the narrator is acknowledging the nature of the loop while still begging you to consider that the loop may not be universal is a good way to frame the stakes of the scene that maintains the
You're
drama
just going
of
to make
it.
things more difficult than they
Yeah.
have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
It's a little bit annoying. It's just a tiny bit annoying that the princess is roasting us for not talking when that's just the premise of this entertainment product.
Oh, okay, so she didn't die last time now. This is getting confusing. How do we want to run this?
I'm reading the options. Take it from the top.
Well, some of these look like they're going to be mutually exclusive, so...
I feel like any kind of conciliatory or like apologetic approach here is not honest to the stakes of the scene. Like, we can't really say, I'm sorry I stabbed you, because we knew what we were doing, and we will do it again.
We do have the we should team up thing, or the hey, why aren't you just getting out of the chains by yourself?
That's a worthwhile question, I'd say.
The chains?
Yeah, Jane.
Oh, of course. They're nothing to me.
The princess grins as the chains fall from
Oh,
her
okay.
wrist. She could have gotten out of those the
Awesome.
whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
I mean, I think this is on the guy who locked her up, to be honest.
Is there a way? What's the option here? That's closest to like. So what's your next move here?
This maybe?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yes.
Like that one there.
The cabin lets prying little beasts like you come as you please, but it insists I stay where I am. That binding I shed is just a symbol of the crueler magic at work in this place.
Okay, that's a good answer.
I'm to leave with you, and you alone.
You know what? I like this princess. She's giving us straight answers. Let's get out of here.
Uh-huh. Do we want to do the, Oh, we don't have the let's team up thing anymore. We could give her the knife.
I don't think that ends well for us. She's still kind of pissed.
I'm kind of curious about what she'll do with the knife, but it seems like we're probably gonna be here again anyway.
Yeah, we'll probably just get locked in the bottom again, but let's see what happens.
Yeah,
when we give her the
let's give her
knife.
the. Yeah, fuck it, give her the knife.
You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should...
I do the like
This
the
to
I'm a
a
little
vote.
stinker
The blade
Neko
is
cat
one of
face
our
she's
most
making.
valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no. As do I. Abstain? You abstain. She's going to kill us if we give it to her.
Yeah, give her the knife. Sure. Let her cook.
You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
I'm interested if fuck it
forward,
is an option it's going to
one
give
cautious
us.
step at a time until you and she are face to face.
I feel like that's not
You think happens
not
now?
been characteristic of the narrative up till this point, but who knows?
Okay, so that was not an anime affectation. She actually sincerely does have a cat mouth.
Yeah,
Let's see.
but no cat ears. Like, she's not really a cat girl if she doesn't have
Well, I mean,
the
she's
cat
got
ears, right?
tail.
Like,
She's
there
got
are
the
rules
tail.
about
She's
this.
got the tail, and she's got cat feet.
Let's see what else we got. Besides the two options there. No, remain silent. Fuck it.
Okay.
You and the princess share.
I'm a problem student.
And then she buries the blade in your heart.
All right. Well,
What?
All right,
No.
yeah.
No, come on, that's not right.
it's very much a like. The DM told you you were probably going to regret this, and you said yeah, and now you're surprised.
Told you? I
Yeah.
told
Except in this context, the
This is what
DM is running a time loop game.
Yeah.
Lee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You.
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with
Oopsie-doodle.
tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
I mean, that is a good question.
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time.
Oh yeah, I like the symmetry of
Everything goes dark.
her asking why she just stabbed you, because it's a good question, right up there with why you stab her, and it's kind of like an Uno reversing, like, see how dumb this is? Do you see?
She actually stabbed us.
Voice of the cheated
Of course she stabbed us.
and the opportunist. Okay, we got more than one.
I voted against.
Oh yeah, this is on the opportunist path, so it's, you know.
But the whole point was that she wasn't supposed to do that. The whole point of giving
I like
her
how
the
he
blade was to break
immediately
the cycle
interrupted
of
the
violence.
narrator.
And she just killed us anyway. I guess it really doesn't matter if she killed us, though, right?
I will say,
Yeah, which means
okay,
everything's
I think that
fine,
it's an
Jason.
interesting choice that she'd have
Make sure
stabbed you,
he's
but
keen
I
to
did
try
not
this
expect her
this
not to
time.
stab us.
We've already proven to her that we can change. Maybe that's all it'll take to show her that there's another way to do things. You know, maybe you're right. In which
Narrator in
case,
the
I
background
suppose
goes,
the
"What the
only
fuck?"
thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try. Give what another try?
It's almost like we just handed the it's like we just handed the developer the knife and said no balls.
Like that changes anything. We all know the game is rigged. It doesn't even matter if she's nice this time. I'm sure he'll find a way to turn us against each other. Great. So you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died.
I
at least
like the
once,
fact that this
twice,
also seems to
actually.
be a continuation of our
Twice.
loop.
Yeah.
Then
Or
I'll
of our
spare
branch,
you the little
rather.
introduction I had planned.
We
Our fork,
have
if
one
you
other
will.
one where we got to
Princess,
3
and clearly
chapters,
you
so
already
like
know that she's dangerous.
clearly
So
there's
don't muck this up. It's bad enough that this isn't
there's
your first
ways
time
to
through.
extend it beyond just like, oh, everything gets resolved in the second day. This place is different, I think is important to point out.
Wonderful. If the woods themselves are changing, then that's all the more reason for you to take this seriously. It would mean your grip on things is slipping, which
it like
in
winter,
turn
or are the
likely
trees
means
dead?
her influence is spreading.
Has there been a forest fire that just burned all the trees?
Someone's in there.
No, that is
I've
different.
had
I think it
enough
is
of these
different.
annoying little secrets.
No, I mean, I know
Who
it's
wants to do
different,
this?
but like,
you have to let us
are the
in on
trees
your
dead,
game
or is it
already.
just like, oh, it's
All of
winter
your
now?
game.
I cannot answer that
I've already
question.
said too much. The more
Probably
information
dead.
you have, the more difficult your task will be. Don't listen to her, definitely don't free her, and if you can, don't even think about her.
We're gonna free her. What do we got?
Well, I mean, you feel free to explore something that looks worth exploring, but I see no reason to commit to a course of action before we see what's going on in the cabin.
We could go the skeptic route and grab the skeptic as well. Just like, nah. Oh, I am curious what he says about this.
What do you want me to say? It's bad that you've been here before. It's bad for you, it's bad for me, and it's especially bad for the world. The more times you run through this, the more likely it is that you'll fail. You've already failed twice. So you knew this could happen. Theoretically, sure, I knew this could happen, but I was supposed to be the first. I'd really rather not get into it. Great!
That's where the game starts losing me, is when it starts playing coy with the
The guy
answers.
who goes around acting like he knows all the rules doesn't
Yeah.
even know how this works. What's the point in listening? Then we can all move on and forget what I said.
I will say there could be a good payoff, like to the narrator not giving us his information, but it also could just be like, we just don't want
It's
to
important
explain
that you
what's
believe
going
in
on
yourself, and the
immediately, so
fact
you
you're
just
here
know.
probably means that you still have a chance to pull this off and save the world. My world, at least. It sounds like you've probably doomed a couple of others already. I need to stop talking. Think happy thoughts.
Curious about this one.
Yes, good. Playing both sides. That's what smart people do, and you're the smartest in the room. I'm not sure it counts as playing both sides if people can hear you doing it. Buddy, you're thinking in far too few dimensions. There's layers to doing this right, and I'm pretty sure the one making the choices gets that. Trust.
But does the opportunist know that I'm
Plan.
playing 4D chess against
Trust
him
in
too?
what plan? The decider's plan. Sure, we don't know what the plan is yet, but that's part of the whole trusting.
Jotaro
isn't it?
Kujo taught me
Good
anything.
leader
It's that
knows
sometimes
how
just not
and
having a
when to
plan
keep
and doing
things
something that
secret.
is objectively
And
brain
sometimes
dead.
a good leader even knows
The
to keep things
smartest
secret
mind game of all.
from himself. Sure, we'll see what she has to say for herself, but don't forget that whatever she says is likely just
Dylan
as
can't
much
figure out
lies
my
as what
plan
he's
if I
got
don't
to
have
tell
one.
us. We should keep our cards close to our chest.
In JoJo, it's a surprisingly
I'd
effective
remember what
tactic.
she's done. You know how dangerous she
Doesn't
is.
surprise me at all.
You should know that someone like her shouldn't be let loose upon the world.
Alright.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one, too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. You know what you have to do. The interior of the cabin is hardly an
Oh,
interior
the
at all
wall, the
anymore.
mirror's in the way.
Burned out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash.
So it was a
Beneath it
forest
lies
fire.
The fresh smell of spring
Or at
growth
least that
after
seems to be
rain,
the implication.
the promise of new life in the wreckage of the old. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table, a pristine... Wait, this isn't right? There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
Uh-oh.
We gave it to her last.
She still has it.
She can't
If we genuinely just kicked off like an hour-long arc where she's just running around the countryside with a knife and we cannot continue until we get it back, and this really was a bad idea, I would actually respect that.
This is how it turns into Daggerfall. We gotta go and get the knife back.
Like, the idea that they actually made it extremely inconvenient to have given her the knife is very funny to me.
Look, as far as I see,
Get back to the base
between
loop and the
him
knife is
her,
still gone.
I say we side with the one who has the
Like,
weapon. It's just the
There's
start.
something funny about the idea of a video
So
game
I'm sure
letting
the
you
blade
do
will come
something
somewhere.
really,
She can't have
really
it.
asinine,
That's not how this is
and then having just a full exploration of all of the consequences of that asinine thing.
Something has to be different.
Mirror.
You're right, the mirror is back. There isn't anywhere for us to go. But there isn't a mirror.
I think the narrator legitimately can't actually see the mirror.
Still don't get his angle here.
Is that like a fourth wall thing? Is that hinting that like... I mean, I know we get the mirror when the thing, when the world ends, but...
Seems like whatever we do, he's always going to say it isn't there.
Is that like some kind of thing where like, oh yeah, the narrator can't see over there on the fourth wall where the studio audience is?
He's either
Which
a
you would be able
liar
to see
or
if
he
you could
doesn't
see
hold
the
all
mirror.
cards. But I think we already knew it had to be one of those. So, is the door to the basement behind the mirror? I promise you there isn't a mirror, and there isn't a door to the basement. The entrance is more of a burned-out frame than anything else, and it's right there on the far side of the room. Do you really not see it? You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading to the basement, hesitating before you begin the descent. It went away when we touched it last time. Not that this place always follows the same rules. You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement.
Uh-oh.
You
Everything's
really
getting
thought
all
there was a mirror there, didn't
sketchy.
you? That can't be good.
I think
As if
that's
things weren't unpredictable
just
enough.
zooming in on the. I don't think it's at the the world is objectively in a bad spot in this loop,
Seems like
but
the only way to go is forward.
I don't think it's the world is ending yet.
Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us. You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below.
Immediately get spawn killed down
The
there.
stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty.
She calls you a Asuka and start
Yes,
teabagging.
This one has
warm.
27
The fires that ruined
chapters.
This place had only recently
Though it
been
goes pretty
extinguished.
quick because you pretty much
Yet
just
fresh
end up
shoots
down
of
there and
thorny
die
branches
immediately
are
for most
already
of them.
weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you. Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with ease, at least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for after the world's been saved.